Wow. Christ's call to holiness has never changed. This church had already gotten the most succinct statement of that. It came in Paul's letter to the Galatian churches, which is right where we are. The 7 churches are right in what the southern Galatian area would be bordering on. By the time of Christ's letter through John, this church, Paul's epistle to the Galatians, was known, read, taught, and most likely memorized, because people were into memorization back then. Think about what Galatians 2:20 says. I think sometime I'm going to change, they say we're supposed to have verses to memorize for these courses. I'm going to change, instead of giving you a Revelation verse, to him that loved us and loosed us from our sin, Revelation 1:5, I think I'm going to assign this one, because I'm growing in my amazement that I meet groups of young people like you, and I don't do this anymore because it's too embarrassing for both of us. I used to just start the class and say, how many of you have memorized Galatians 2:20? Raise your hand. No, you're not supposed to. Because there's so few of you. It should be, here, everybody, when I say that, everyone raise your hand together with me. How many of you have learned Galatians 2:20? Everybody put your hand up. That's what it should be like. Do you know what it's like nowadays? Like 5, 7 out of 100. How many of you are there? 120? Did you know this is Paul's testimony? This is one of the most powerful verses in all of the Bible. It says, I got saved. My salvation is a present decision based on the past. How did I get saved? I trusted, believed, and clung to the truth that Jesus, 2,000 years ago, took my sins, stood in my place, bore the punishment of God's wrath I deserved. That's justification. God poured out on Jesus 2,000 years ago on the cross my sin, the punishment for my sin. So that's how I got saved. Did I see him there personally? I don't mean did I see a painting, on the wall in a museum or in my Bible or in some Christian art book. No, I didn't see him. I've seen representations. I didn't see him. No, it was by what? Yes, faith. I believed the truth in the Bible about a past event, and God changed me forever. That's salvation. I'm describing how each of us got saved. I was saved because my mother, boy, you talk about a historic event. Khrushchev was moving nuclear missiles to Cuba, and they were teaching all the American school children how to get ready for Russia to attack America with an atomic bomb. That's when I was growing up. And I was 6 years old, and you know what they had us do? I'll show you. This is what they told all of us to do. Crawl under your desk. Then they showed us a movie of an atomic bomb out in the Pacific Ocean, surrounded by 500-foot-long battleships and aircraft carriers, and they dropped the bomb in the center on the atoll out there in the South Pacific, and it went, destroyed, just was all gone, including the island. And I went back after we watched the movie, and I looked at my desk. I thought, so when Russia sends an atomic bomb, I'm only 6. I figured out I wouldn't survive under my desk. If the battleship and aircraft carrier and the island didn't survive, I wasn't going to either. And I went home to my mother, and I said, that bothered me. So that night in the story, she always did the same thing I'd never noticed. She told us our Bible story at night, my 2 sisters and me, we'd be there, and we were sitting on the floor, and she'd read a Bible story, and then she'd say this. She'd say, and Mama's going to heaven, and Karen is going to heaven, and Sharon is going to heaven, but Johnny, you're not. If she had said that, that's how she did our Bible story. She was identifying who was saved and who was lost in the group. It didn't bother me. I just wanted to go to bed. I was tired after climbing trees all day. That night, my mom said, and Mama's going to heaven, and Karen's going to heaven, and Sharon's going to heaven, and John's not. And I said, why? She said, because you are a sinner. Now, she didn't have to convince me. I said, I know that. I was always getting in trouble. My mother said, she waited, she said, but why are you asking? I said, because they told us at school that Russia's going to attack us and drop a bomb on us, and they told me to get under my desk, and I won't make it. And I'm afraid that I'm not going to go to heaven. And so she just graciously led me to the Lord as a 6-year-old. Now, She told me I had to believe that a past event, Jesus loved me and died on the cross for me, and I would just call out to him to be my salvation. That's how we're saved. But look, that's what Galatians 2:20 says. What is Galatians 2:20? You guys know it, the ones of you that know it. I have been crucified with Christ, Paul said, but I'm still alive. But it's not me anymore, it's Christ living in me. And the life I'm now living, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. What Paul was saying is, it's not just a past event that saved me in the past. That same event is what keeps me from acting like the Thyatiran banqueting.